In the heart of Capitol Heights, Maryland, a beacon of faith has stood tall for 7 decades, weaving a tapestry of love, worship, and community. This is the story of Carmody Hills Baptist Church. From its humble beginnings in 1947, born from the vision of Reverend Harvey Rankin and nurtured by the Reverend A. Lincoln Smith, this spiritual community has flourished over the decades. Through revival meetings held under the shelter of trees on the future church site, the seeds of faith were sown, with 15 souls expressing their intent to form a new spiritual home. The challenges of securing meeting spaces were met with determinations, leading to the acquisition of 3 initial lots, later expanded to 10. Those early days were marked by humble gatherings held in homes and borrowed spaces where the seeds of fellowship were sown. As the years passed, the church grew, and with the sweat and dedication of its members, the sanctuary we know today took shape, becoming a sanctuary for souls seeking solace and strength. In 1953, the chapel became a church, a testament to the perseverance and dedication of its members. Through the years, leaders like Reverend Arthur Coleman and Mr. Scott Douglas guided the congregation, providing spiritual nourishment and expanding the church's physical footprint. As the years progressed, so did the church reach and impact. The callings of Reverends Callahan, Farrell, Flesh brought fresh perspectives and new ministries enriching the church's spiritual fabric.
My name is Rosie Mathis. I've been a member at Carmody Hills for 56 years. We moved in the neighborhood, and when we moved in the neighborhood, a young white pastor came around asking if the kids could come to Vacation Bible School. And so I let my 2 come, and I took the neighbors too. And so I got to know some of the people here at Carmody Hill. They're mostly white. And that's what drew me to Carmody Hill. There was more white than there were black. And white moved out and the black moved in. And so we grew. With God's blessing, we grew.
My name is Dorothy Pope. I would like to say that I'm 83 years of age. I've been at the Carmody Hills Baptist Church for 55 years. To God be the glory. When I first came to Carmody Hills, I was greeted so warmly. I mean, it was just exceptionally warmly the way I was greeted, or the way we were greeted, I should say. The lady, one of the members by the name of Mamie Barrett, Mother Mamie Barrett, she came to me personally and invited me. She said, "We're so glad to have you, and we need you to join with us," because at that particular time, the congregation was 96% Caucasian. So we came back another Sunday. My husband and I came back another Sunday. And then I think the next Sunday, he went back to Alabama. I came to Carmody Hills. We were supposed to join together. We had said we were going to join together. But the Holy Spirit let me know that I needed not look any further. So I gave my hand to the pastor. My heart was already with Jesus. There was no problem there.
In the late 1970s, as a wave of migration swept through Prince George's County, Carmody Hills Baptist Church embraced a more diverse community. Reverend Grant Kaufman, the first African American minister, led the church into a new era, birthing numerous ministries and nurturing future ministers.
Pastor Kaufman was the one that caused me to be president of the Flower Club. I was a very shy person back then, and I wasn't talkative at all. And so Pastor Kaufman kept encouraging me. So I ended up being the president of the Flyer Club for more than 10 years.
My name is Deacon Emeritus Charlie Buggs, Jr. I first joined Carmody Hill Baptist Church in approximately 1965. I was brought here by my wife and my next door neighbor, Sylvia K. Buggs and Mary Montu. When I first came to Carmody Hill Baptist Church, there were only 2 deacons and 2 deaconesses. There were Deacon Lee and Deacon Muse, and their wife were deaconesses at the time.
My name is Wanda Melton. I've been here at Carmody Hills for 51 years. When I moved into the area that I live in now, my children were, a friend of my children invited them to attend Vacation Bible School here at the church. So they then they were excited and came home saying that they wanted to be baptized. So I came up to the church to find out what the church was all about, what type of church it was. And then from that, I enjoyed what I saw, and I allowed my children to be baptized here. And later we both joined the church.
Trustee Emeritus Hollis Toomer. Now, during those years there, Pastor Kaufman was the pastor at the time that I first joined the church, and he was here for a few years. And then, of course, we went to another pastor, and that was Pastor Martin. And Martin served us for a number of years, but eventually I think he brought Pastor Coram on to take over. I believe he were having some illnesses. And when Pastor Coram took on, I think he was here for a good number of years, some 14 or better years, and I served under him.
Okay, my name is Kathleen Harris. I am a deacon, and I have been a member of Carmody Hills Baptist Church for 50. Reverend Martin, he was, and I think since I've always looked up to older people, he just always had something encouraging to say to me, and he made me feel like he saw me, that I was definitely a part of the church. But for the most part, all of the pastors have positively poured into me in some way or another.
Under Reverend Philip Coram's dynamic leadership, the church experienced significant growth, both spiritually and numerically. His tenure saw the birth of ministries, licensing and ordination of ministers, and a deepening commitment to community outreach.
My name's Louise Saunders, and I've been here 50 years. The small church building over on the other side, it was getting too small for the members that we were getting. So I don't know how it came about, but there was a chapel out in Fort Belvoir that we decided to purchase. So after we had decided to purchase that and we started getting things together, then we discovered that it was going to be too expensive. Not the chapel itself, but to transport it was going to be more than the church itself. So after a while, we decided against that. And then we started thinking of other ways that we could add on to the church out there. And that's when we decided, well, it's best if we just try to have a church built onto that one.
Pastor Broadie's visionary leadership brought revitalization and a surge in ministries, strengthening the church's foundation. Through his administrative prowess, the church was remodeled inside and out. New leadership structure is implemented and stabilized the church finances and investments.
We did make some changes here. We had some property in the neighborhood, We did sell some of the property, and around 2008 or 9 or so, we were able to pay off the remaining mortgage of the church. And that was a major job there, and certainly put us way ahead of the situation there. 2015, then I was chosen as chairman of the trustee board. And from that time there, well, actually, it was slightly before that, probably 2014. But then in 2015, we did go through a major problem of renovating the main sanctuary. That was one of our biggie problems there. And we were required to eliminate all of the wooden seats that we had in the church, and all of the seats was taken out, and we replaced them with chairs, soft cushion back chairs, which was very comfortable. And we had something like about 218 of those activities with the lights that we did. We had new carpeting put out in the whole sanctuary, as well as some parts of the annex. Wooden floors were added in the pulpit, very beautiful, and a number of other modifications that we did do. And that was one of the major projects in terms of renovation that we had in a good number of years. We also, later on, replaced a lot of the doors there in the areas in the main sanctuary there, some of the lighting fixtures. In fact, all of the lighting fixtures were removed and replaced with new modern lighting fixtures. So there was a good bit of money expenditures that took place during that time period. Of course, during this time period there, we did do other renovations of the church there. We renovated the annex area and modified that and sectioned off a good number of classrooms. That did incur some expenses there, however, we've been able to do that, okay? Now, we have, at the same time, during Pastor Broadie's tenure, we've been able to purchase additional vehicles, at least 2 additional vehicles, and we've been able to transport a good number of personnel and parishioners back and forth during that time period. We've been able to pay off those vehicles there, and there's no major expenses lingering at this time on that. We have also been able to replace the entire roof on all areas of the church, and along with doing that, we have seen fit to replace, I believe it is 3 HVAC systems. So we have incurred a good number of expenses during this time period, but at the same time, we have been able to pay off most of all of these expenses. Very little expense still exists.
I'm Deacon Emeritus Thurman Williams. Oh, I came in the early 90s. Good memories. Believe it or not, I used to like working up there, doing a lot of different things. Pastor fell off the stage over here. Pastor Matthews. I said, well, I better try to do something for that, so I put the rails up. And somebody had fell over here, so I said, well, might as well go ahead and put these rails up over here too. And right behind the pulpit, when preachers would walk on there, you could feel it going up and down. So I took the floor up and put a jack, and put another floor on there and jacked it up so it would be solid down. So Reverend Broadie is able to reach the old, the young, the middle-aged. He's able to just reach everybody. And me and him always got along real good at church and out, when we were out there in the street. We just always got along real good.
My name is Chairman Deacon Andre Oates, and I've been a member at Carmody Hills for 30 years. The thing about this church is that you get opportunities, you know, to grow. It's a unique church because it's a family-oriented church. Over the years, we have spent so many time together, and you know, you laugh and crack jokes, and we all got different things. And I know y'all say, you know, I do football analogies, and my staff would say, when I say through it all, like, oh, he about to preach. he long-winded. So we all crack jokes. We all just rubbing each other. We all get along and stuff. You know, it's just like an extended family.
This has been a very loving, warm, accepting church. We have always accepted whomever walked through the doors. We've always embraced them, and we've always given as much as we could to them. Outreach-wise, love, outreach, and just being the best that we can be as a unit. And we always tried to make sure we were one unit and work together.
It's just so much. Let me just stop and pause for a moment, because as I was looking at these questions earlier, and I reflect back over my time here at Carmody Hills, I can say that Carmody Hills has really had a great impact on my life and on how I have changed. Even though I grew up in the church, at one point when I moved from my hometown to this area, I was not attending church. Carmody Hill was the church that I came to, and I enjoyed it based on my children wanting to get baptized. And I just love the people here, and I always have, and I'm sure that I always will. And I just can't say too much about Carmody Hills. I cannot say too much. I can never say too much, because it has a special place in my heart. The pastors, the ministers, how I've learned so much about the Bible through Bible study, Sunday school, and all those other things. And I just love Carmody Hills for all those reasons.
My name is Pastor Oscar Broadie. Been the pastor here for the last 13 years. It has been an honor, and certainly it has been a pleasure to serve so many great people throughout the Carmody Hills Baptist Church. We had some tremendous things to happen around here that was to the glory and honor of God. Just like any other ministry, you have your ups and your downs, but through it all, we are still here. Certainly, we thank God for allowing us to pastor through the disease, the pandemic, the Corona-19 virus. And certainly there was a challenge pastoring through that, but certainly our staff, our disciples of the Carmody Hills Baptist Church made that process easier. And certainly I want to salute all of you for your work, your diligent work, and your skillful hands, so that we were able to continue to prosper. And certainly I'm grateful to serve not only this ministry, but to have so many great ministerial workers to surround me, particularly the Pastor Curtis McLaughlin, my executive pastor, does such an amazing job in making sure that things are done in the spirit of excellence. Certainly, again, it's my delight to see all the transformation that took place during the season of pandemic. And certainly we are grateful to God that we were able to do this and we owe no one anything. So I want to salute you, again, the Carmody Hills Baptist Church, for seeing the vision, for pouring into the work so that we can get quite a bit of these renovations done. During the pandemic, we were able to come in and beautify the sanctuary. We were able to paint, change colors of the paint, add in new sound systems. We were able to upgrade our video and audio. Certainly we were able to repair our basement. And of course, that was a great working process with that. We was able to install new flooring. To the rear of our building, we have our new pastoral suite. We was able to do that. We did a massive cleanup through the pandemic, and certainly we are grateful we were able to get that done. And if you just take a look around and see what we've done and how God has brought us from this to that, certainly we are on our way. In the future, again, I do see great things for our church, but it just saddens me to see pre-pandemic, if you will, the amount of disciples that we did have coming to church. But now it saddens me to see that we don't have as many, but certainly we thank God for those who we do have, and certainly we are expecting God to do something even greater for the work of our ministry. We certainly are grateful, again, that the technology we have connect those who are not physically or able to come into the building, and so our viewing is pretty much great in that capacity, that people still can stay connected to the work of our ministry. But also for the church, for our people, is to, again, spiritually get stronger. We're excited to have added 2 new additions to the work of our ministry, Pastor Ray Hewlett and certainly Pastor Jimmy Hewlett. We are so excited that God has used our ministry to help them grow into culture, into the call of the work which He has called. We're excited about them, and certainly we're excited about our diaconate ministry. I tell you, we got one of the best diaconate ministry, I believe, in the DMV, how they help us stay connected with our disciples of our ministry. They have served tirelessly through the work, through the pandemic, and they're still serving. So we are blessed to have such great leaders to lead our diaconate ministry. Again, we're thankful for Deacon Andre Oaks, and certainly also Tina Griffin, his chair, and those other deacons that work so hard to keep us all connected. Certainly we are always excited about our Christian Education Department. Again, our pastor, Pastor Donald Griffin, certainly I believe is one of the greatest teachers in the DMV. He does a phenomenal job in keeping us connected, and certainly we will not be as strong as we are if we didn't have a Christian education component, a part of our ministry, led by Pastor Griffin, but taught by our disciples, our deacons, and our ministers. So we're excited about the work that he has always done, and we're expecting God to even take us even higher. To have so many young at heart to serve within the context of our community, but also in our church. Again, it's a blessing to be with them every Wednesday and to serve them. And certainly we don't want them to go without being noticed. We appreciate the work and the work that they do. We appreciate the time that they put into the work of the ministry. Certainly we appreciate their commitment, because if it had not been for them, certainly I don't know where we would be today, but we just want to celebrate them as well as we continue to celebrate them each and every day for the tremendous job that they're doing. And certainly they are working, and they're working. We thank God for them. In the future, we are certainly gearing up to do some innovative things. Again, we don't understand where sometimes we're all where God is taking us, but we certainly do understand and trust and believe that God is going to allow us to be able to prosper in the great works of this community. Certainly we want to get back involved into our grassroots program, as we do have the Hope Center, and certainly we definitely want to expand that as we look around and see the community in which we serve within the DMV. So many families are being affected by this, I guess, not our culture, but by the social ills in the community that is causing our people to go haywire. So certainly we want to build on those resources that we already have planted so that we can stretch far and beyond.